It's barely sunrise, and I'm already surrounded by men arguing about taxes with axes. Welcome to the Viking Republic, where democracy means showing up armed and shouting your opinion. And historians called them raiders. Turns out they were just enthusiastic debaters with very poor impulse control. But what if the North had chosen words over war? If the Thing, their open assembly, had become the spine of an empire? Welcome to the world's oldest democracy, and one of its bloodiest.
In the centuries before kings and parliaments, Viking society was a patchwork of clans and chieftains, bound by blood, honor, and the ever-present threat of violence. Most historians simplify them as raiders, pillagers, or Norse barbarians.
Be silent.
But that's like calling the Louvre a fancy attic. At the heart of their political life was the Thing, a general assembly, a proto-democratic council where free men gathered to debate, legislate, and adjudicate disputes.
Avenge our fallen brothers. Hear ye the ancient laws, passed down from the gods themselves.
Here, no king could rule absolutely. Law was made in public, and the threat of exile was often more terrifying than a sword in the ribs. The Thing was egalitarian in its way. Men of free status could speak. Women could influence through persuasion and marriage alliances, and social standing was negotiated openly. Violence was never far. A misjudged insult could end in bloodshed. But there was structure, ritual, and a bizarrely functional order to it all. Unlike Athens, whose democracy eventually became a spectator sport for the elite, or Rome, which alternated between republic and dictatorship like a bad play, Viking governance relied on practical power, debate, and the occasional duel.
Defend yourself. Your fate is mine.
As the sun rises over the fjord, we face the great divergence.
We stand here
Imagine a
today as
divergence,
equals.
a choice.
Bound by
The
blood.
Vikings reject monarchy and Christianity. They codify the Thing laws into a lasting constitution. They unite their clans under principles of debate, justice, and,
In the dawn
yes,
of our age,
occasional
the law was
armed
etched,
disagreement.
Not in stone, but in memory. In the heart of the great forest, there lived a mighty king. He was known throughout the land for his wisdom and his strength.
Suddenly, the Scandinavian North transforms. Literacy spreads, trade expands. Diplomacy, rather than brute conquest alone, becomes a
This seals
tool
our
of
pact.
influence.
May it bring prosperity to both our people.
Indeed.
Religion, instead of dominating law, becomes personal or ceremonial. In this timeline, bureaucracy is born, but with axes instead of pens. The Thing evolves from a local assembly to a federation of parliaments, each vying for influence, yet respecting the sacred principle that no king may dictate the fate of all.
I'm here at the site of the Great Assembly, where the local clans are currently engaged in a heated discussion over land rights. Forget parliaments and ballot boxes. The first free men of the North voted by shouting at each other on cold plains. Welcome to Thingvellir, the Viking Parliament. Part courtroom, part market, part group therapy with axes. Every freeman had a voice, and the loudest usually won. Democracy by decibel. So, when you disagree, how do you resolve it?
We shout louder.
Impeccable system. Trade, law, and gossip, all in one place. What news from the West? The usual raids. They offer little resistance. The Norse wasn't ruled by kings, it was ruled by collective stubbornness. From this frozen shouting match came the first spark of governance. Proof that even Vikings could agree on something, eventually. What do you call a Viking who is also a comedian?
A Norseman.
We'll need a stronger alliance to face the coming winter.
Stronger, yes, but not with them. They cannot be trusted. He has been found guilty of treason and will be punished accordingly.
Hear the law. As the waters flow to the sea, so must justice
This period
flow
marks
among
the
people.
consolidation of Viking democracy.
Freedom is your birthright.
Assemblies grow larger, councils interconnect across fjords and valleys, and the concept of law as communal property cements itself in Scandinavian culture.
I yield.
Violence remains a feature, not a flaw. Accountability is as much social as it is legal.
Was fierce, we stand united to the gods and the future of our valley.
We feast tonight. Skål! Skål!
By the laws of the North and the judgment of the flames, you are hereby banished from this settlement.
By the gods, I swear my hands are clean of this crime.
Viking law was neither subtle nor abstract. Outlawry, trials by combat, restitution payments, and public decrees were the backbone of society.
Hear my plea. He has spilled innocent blood and shamed
In this timeline, these systems evolve into ritualized debate and controlled dueling courts. A grievance might be settled in a courtroom, or by a duel, refereed by a council elder. Every decision carries weight, and every insult is dangerous. Modern observers might see chaos. Vikings saw accountability, and remarkably, it works. Communities thrived not despite violence, but because every citizen understood the cost of breaking rules. Order emerges organically, like frost patterns on a window, intricate and inevitable.
Frost spreads quickly this year, as does the law across the land. It must be upheld.
But the people are hungry, Jarl.
Once united, the Viking Republic turns outward. Greenland, North America, Eastern Europe. Trade, diplomacy, and colonization spread Nordic democratic principles far beyond Scandinavia.
He offers this armoring as a token of peace.
We accept his terms. We shake on this treaty.
Unlike monarchic empires that demanded obedience, this federation attracts allies through negotiation, reputation, and occasionally the irresistible force of a warship.
Finland is ours by right. We cannot yield more land.
And what of the Greenland harbors?
The world watches, surprised, baffled. A society of raiders who embraced debate and civic ritual, who maintain law through collective consent, proves unexpectedly effective at long-term governance. The expansion isn't just physical, it's cultural. Literacy, engineering, and navigation flourish. The Republic thrives because its citizens value participation as much as prowess.
Great ocean, our sun. Row for the normalized, row for the gold. We sail onwards, brave and bold.
I'm standing in what looks like a mythic capital mashed with a modern city. Longships still dock here, but now they sit beside solar cargo vessels. The legislature meets on decks, real decks, not just in marble halls. They debate tariffs, climate policy, intercontinental trade, with ceremony.
And yes, debates are often punctuated by ceremonial swords. Citizens here pass laws, trade, and audit, all in the open.
They also remember failure can mean exile or a very polite duel. Orderly chaos. It's the sort of system that makes you question your own Congress.
The Viking Republic of the modern age is technologically advanced, culturally rich, and fiercely democratic. Its political institutions reflect a society that prizes freedom, debate, and responsibility, all tempered by a touch of controlled savagery.
How did a society of warriors sustain democracy without collapsing into tyranny?
The honor of the clan is the honor of the individual.
The answer lies in ritual, expectation, and shared identity. Vikings understood honor, and they codified it. Unlike other cultures where law was an abstract ideal or monarchs ruled by decree, Viking law was personal and visible. Social cohesion was maintained by a blend of fear, respect, and active participation. The result? A functioning democracy capable of enduring centuries of external threat, internal strife, and the occasional catastrophic raid. And in the process, they created a culture that could laugh at itself, often while holding a spear.
You call that a duel?
Even the great empires once bowed to the North.
And the North didn't always wait politely for invitations.
They negotiated with swords, shields, and a touch of diplomacy. And somehow, it worked.
In this alternate history, Viking political systems reshape global geopolitics. Former empires adopt similar participatory models. Conflicts still exist, but they're mediated through assemblies and carefully codified laws.
This phrase in Arabic means justice.
The world is, in essence, a grand experiment in democratic efficiency fueled by honor, intellect, and occasional blade work. The legacy of Viking democracy is a reminder that governance can take many forms. It need not be polite, slow, or bloodless. It can be kinetic, visceral, and surprisingly functional. History often praises Athens or Rome as cradle civilizations of democracy. Yet here, in the fjords and valleys of the north, another path emerged. One rooted in law, debate, and social accountability. A path that married honor with participation, intellect with action, and ritual with governance.
Witness our honor.
In the end, the Viking Republic teaches us that democracy is not simply the absence of kings or the presence of elections. It is the lived practice of engagement, courage, and yes, occasionally throwing a spear when words fail. And perhaps, just perhaps, that is the most enduring lesson of all.